Asuka and Naomi qualified for Money in the Bank on the women's side with a win over Eva Marie and the newly rechristened, or I should say christened, because technically she never had a name on the show, Doudrop. Piper Niven is officially now Doudrop. She was named by Eva in a backstage segment. Eva was looking her up and down, and she said, "You look like Doudrop." And Piper did not seem pleased with her new name. So they had a tag team match, and Niven had things well in hand with Naomi when Eva tagged herself in, and that proved to be a mistake when she got pinned. So there's already trouble brewing between Eva Marie and Doudrop 2 weeks in. That's not a good sign. Although maybe it is, because maybe they're going to split. maybe this pairing will not last that long. But this all brings me to Nikki Cross, who is now a superhero. She was dressed up in a superhero outfit with a blue eye mask, and she had blue eye makeup underneath. She's got a cape. She is the new Mighty Molly. And she teamed with Alexa Bliss, her former best friend, who has since been demonically possessed. But there they were, teaming like it was nothing. And they beat Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler to qualify for Money in the Bank. The demon and the superhero are in the Money in the Bank match after Bliss once again hypnotized Reginald and Shayna Baszler was rolled up and pinned. Again, with the hypnotic shit. This sucked. And as for the superhero here, Nikki Cross, with Doudrop already having issues with Eva Marie, here's the question I pose to you. How long before she ends up in a tag team with Nikki Cross? Actually, Piper Niven and Nikki Cross as a team would make for a nice addition to that women's tag team division. Two fellow Scots. But not as Doudrop and Wonder Woman. This is not a Vince McMahon creation, by the way. This was a Nikki Cross idea that she pitched. She's been working on this for months. She pitched the idea and they actually ran with it. Which just goes to show that the wrestlers can pitch plenty of their own bad ideas. It's not just limited to Vince McMahon. But I actually think this will get over in front of live fans. I think people like Nikki Cross. I think they like her. She has a likable quality about her. They want to see her succeed. They're not going to boo her. So it will probably work. Whatever work means. I don't know if it's going to lead her to a championship or not, but I think that this will work for her. The issue is that before she vanished from television, and she disappeared, I don't believe she was hurt or anything, but there was a period of a few months where Nikki Cross just disappeared from Monday Night Raw. Before she vanished from television, there was really nothing wrong with her. So I just find it very sad that they even need to pitch ideas like this just to get noticed, because that's what she did here. She came up with an idea because they weren't doing anything with her. She wasn't on television anymore. Once they split her away from Alexa Bliss. And so she came up with this crazy, zany, wacky idea that they ran with. And now, is it going to work or not? We'll see. I think it can. Doesn't mean I like it. I'm just saying I don't think it'll be booed out of the building. But the fact that she even had to come up with something like this is very sad. Because there was absolutely nothing wrong with crazy Nikki Cross before they yanked her off TV. We had Matt Riddle beating Drew McIntyre. They had about a 20-minute match, qualifier for Money in the Bank. A very good match. Best match on the entire show. Yet another upset, right? Ricochet was billed as an upset. John Morrison over Orton was billed as an upset. This was the biggest of them all. Riddle pinned the former WWE champion with a victory roll. Clean in the middle of the ring. And Randy Orton walked out on stage, arms crossed, sourpuss on his face. He did not qualify. He was not very happy. And Riddle went over and was asking him, "What's wrong, Randy? What's wrong?" And Orton wouldn't respond. Of course, they are doing this last chance shit again for Money in the Bank, where all the losers get one more chance to qualify. It's going to be with AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton. This is going to be where Drew McIntyre works his way into the Money in the Bank match. Because it's the only way. I mean, unless he can cash in on some other championship, and they seem to change the rules every year, so who the fuck knows what's allowed and what's not. But it's the only way that he could possibly get another shot at the WWE title, because as it stands, with that loss at Hell in a Cell last weekend, he's no longer allowed to challenge Bobby Lashley for the title. Money in the Bank could be a workaround to that. And speaking of Lashley, we had Lashley against Xavier Woods, non-title, in the main event. The first Hell in a Cell match on Monday Night Raw in almost 25 years. Kofi Kingston watched from the outside. Woods got more offense in here than I thought he would. This was definitely more competitive than I expected. He did his diving elbow off the ropes through a table with Lashley on top of it, but Lashley kicked out. Lashley speared him. He tapped him out with the Hurt Lock. MVP slipped into the cage after they opened the door when the match was over, and then he immediately shut the door behind him and padlocked it shut so that Kofi could not get inside while Lashley reapplied the Hurt Lock. And he made Kofi watch. Kofi Kingston is banging on the cell, telling him to let go, let go. And Lashley has got Woods. He's got him pressed up face first against the cage, making him suffer, making Kofi watch, and there is nothing that he can do about it. I like that. No comedy, no funny business. Pure heel shit. Make the babyface watch his best friend suffer. He made the New Day suffer. Now, Kofi Kingston, he is not winning the WWE Championship. Not now, and if not ever, certainly not for a long time. And try as they might, you're not going to get me to buy into the fact that he will. But you can at least try to build him up, now that he is number one contender, you can try to build him up as more of a serious challenger, which is what they're seemingly trying to do. You know, I said the last couple of weeks, the backstage banter between MVP and Kofi Kingston has been some of the most compelling stuff on the entire show. This angle here was pretty compelling stuff, and now this Monday night, tomorrow night on Raw, Kofi and MVP are going to go face to face. And I would not be surprised if that ends up being the best thing on the entire show. They've got to go out there and sell you on the idea that Kofi Kingston has a shot to reclaim the WWE Championship. But it's not going to happen. Also tomorrow night, like I said, last chance Money in the Bank qualifier with all the losers, AJ, Orton, McIntyre. They're doing Rhea Ripley, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooke against Charlotte Flair, Natalya, and Tamina. And in a strap match, Jackson Riker, one-on-one with Elias. That might be around the time that my finger slips and I accidentally hit the remote control. End up watching David on QVC. And David on QVC every night. Big fan. Big fan of David.